Hi guys, Fan147 here with an online quiz I found on the Dave website of Red Dwarf, and there's 50 questions in it, and it was just something I thought of doing at the top of my head just now. I wondered if there was any Red Dwarf quizzes online, and it seems like this one might be legit because, well, it's on the Dave website, so it's obviously something that's been well put together, and it's like probably more genuine, the actual answers that are in it, because it's on the actual website of which Red Dwarf shows. But yeah, I'm actually a big fan of Red Dwarf, as many of you might not know. I probably have mentioned it at some point in my videos, but it's mostly like Let's Plays I do, but outside Let's Play and the sort of sitcoms and all that I'm into, Red Dwarf's one of the stuff that I really like. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to its new return this smeg timber, as they're calling it. And yeah, on the 22nd, the first episode of Series 11, Twentica, is airing, and I just want to see how much of a dwarfer I really am, or am I a complete smeckhead, according to this quiz. So yeah, let's just start with this quiz now. I'm just using Bandicam to record this, so I'll have 10-minute watermarks. I'm just going to keep an eye on the time when recording it. But yeah, I just thought this would be pretty cool to do. I was going to record my face for doing it, but I just completely forgot, really. Well, not completely forgot, I just it just seemed like an inconvenient way to do it, and I just thought, you know what, I don't really need to. So yes, let's just get on with it now. Yeah, I used to love Red Dwarf as a kid as well. I probably appreciate it now more that I'm older, because I probably didn't get the jokes when I was younger, and I was probably a bit of a prude at all the sexual jokes, because I was kind of like that. But yeah, I used to watch it a lot when I was staying in Aberdeen with my dad, and he kind of got me into it as well. And then the rest of the family was kind of into this show as well. But I kind of like every series, really. I was watching Back to Earth earlier, and I was really laughing at that. But apparently people weren't so keen on the ones that Doug Naylor did on his own, but I kind of like every episode of Red Dwarf. There was never really one I didn't like, but let's just start this quiz now. Right, Ultimate Red Dwarf quiz. A question so insultingly easy, you'd have to be an utter gimboid not to get it in Red Dwarf. What is Lister's first name? Oh, Dave, obviously. Oh, Pete, that's the name of the dinosaur that was in Series 9. Yeah, 99%. Oh, God. Why even do this quiz if you don't know that question? Right, next question. Ever asked yourself the question, what if your dad's other sperm hadn't made it? Well, then you're very odd. But which bad guy in Red Dwarf has the power to make this oh, the Inquisitor. Yeah, I remember, like, he was like, state your name and purpose, something like that. No, that's not it. But I remember he judged everyone. Like, he whenever he interviewed one of the dwarfers and all that, you saw him, like, with their face when he took off his mask and that. So yeah, that was Inquisitor. That one, that was a Series 5 episode, I think. In Red Dwarf, which household appliance was as incapable of keeping quiet as Lister, as close as Lister was, of smelling of anything Talkie toaster, is it? Yeah! I actually guessed that one. That one didn't seem very clear. But after having the anger sucked out of him by a polymorph in Red Dwarf, Rimmer was transformed into a goateed smeghead whose t-shirt bore which slogan? Give Quiche a chance. Yes, I remember that one. It's like, I remember he's like, Kumbaya. I remember he like turns into all like completely positive, even when he gets like Crichton calling him a total dork. It's like, that's lovely, Crichton, or something like that. But yeah, I remember that was Series 3. That was actually a very funny episode. I like that one. 89% got that one. Oh god. Oh, Nova 5. I know that's going to be at Stray. That's just the ship that they found Crichton on. That was his actual vessel. Red Dwarf's Crichton, the mechanoid whose head would make a highly serviceable dungeon and dragons device, was discovered while working as a servant on which ship? Yeah, Nova 5. Oh, that was back in Series 2 when he was played by someone else. His name was, I'm not sure, David something? I can't remember who played him in Series 2, but he only played him for one episode. I thought he was pretty good as Crichton, but I think Robert Welland also made a different type of Crichton, and in a good way, because I kind of liked Robert Welland as Crichton, but I thought that the original Crichton was also pretty good. But yeah, it was Nova 5, that was the name of the vessel. What calamity wiped out? Oh, radiation leak. We're assuming he counts, yeah. Yeah, that was because Rimmer failed to successfully seal a drive plate or something, and that's how it became a hologram. Which didn't really work a lot of time, because even though the hologram is not supposed to touch stuff, but you can clearly see he does touch stuff when he's in Series 1 and 2 and all that. But one of the main things Red Dwarf was applauded for was just its terrible effects and all that. Like, even when you see him lying on his bed, you see his actual duvet and everything shifting from the force of him sitting down and that, and he sits on chairs and everything. But by Series 6, they make him a hard light form to make his whole harder form, a bit more believable. Okay, for a bit of a laugh, Holly once took an alter ego in Red Dwarf so fearsome, he made Lord Sugar look like a, oh, yes, Krieg. Like, that's right, suckers. I can't do that voice very well. Like, that's right, I can't do his voice very well, so it's very deep. For a bit, yeah, okay. What name did it? Oh yeah, and he became the form of Hilly from Parallel Universe by Series 3 onwards, but they made the excuse in a little wee intro sequence that he had a computer sex change. In Red Dwarf land, virtual reality headsets weren't just gibberish 19th phenomenon like the blue tones. Thanks to this technology, the cat became a blinged up gunslinger. Oh, the Riviera cat, that was in Gunman of the Apocalypse, yeah. Yeah, they were talking about like the whole cowboys thing there. Middle names. They're generally as embarrassing as being my middle name's Lawrence, but it's quite a meaningful middle name, that one. I won't go into it, but they're generally as embarrassing as being accused of William Hague's secret lover. But Red Dwarf's Arnold Brimmer is all too accurate. Which is it? Oh yeah, Judas. You find out why his middle name's actually Judas in Series 10. Apparently, like, he embodied all the traits his parents wanted him to have. And I remember, like, when Lister's like, your parents wanted you to be a two-faced, conniving snitch. They must have been very proud of you. I thought that part was very funny. But there we go. Oh, 95, yeah, a lot of people knew he was Judas Rimmer. Because it's quite often referred to Arnold Judas Rimmer. I remember there's one part where Crichton particularly emphasizes it. It's during that whole case scene, like the court scene where he's trying to prove Arnold's innocence in the episode. I think it's Justice with the Justice Field or something like that, and he keeps going like objection, and you always hear him saying back overruled. Oh, that's Matthias, so I was wondering what that was. Who did the Red Dwarf crew help to assassinate? Oh, JFK, I remember it. Oh, it's the first episode of Series 7. First episode of the supposedly worst series ever, but I don't really think that series is that bad. Series 7. Isn't it great when good things come back? Flair's Rick Astley and the mining ship Red Dwarf Rick Astley. There's no strangers to love. And Flair's, yeah, that's a reference to the cat, because he's all into his fashion and such. I think the cat's my favourite character, but he's the one who seems to dislike Rimmer the most. And I don't technically dislike Rimmer. I kind of feel sorry for him at times. Isn't it great when good things come back? Yeah. Animated Red Dwarf, which was recreated, complete Terror Crew. Oh, the nanobots. Yeah, remember that happened at the end of the last episode of series, last 2 episodes of Series 7. I remember they were sort of joined on those 2 episodes, but that's when they rebuilt Red Dwarf, and then it came back in Series 8 with the actual mining ship, and Rimmer came back in Series 8. What's the next question? Come on, that's tap that. Okay, there we go. It would pain Red Dwarf's cat to admit, but he owes his very existence to Lister, the human equivalent of you sock. Oh, I remember he was called Cloister the Stupid or something like that in their cat bible or something like that. I remember like the promised land of Fushal, but it was actually Fiji. So I remember like their bible told a story that was pretty much exactly how Lister's life was led, but everything had different names and such. I thought the cat was much more cat-like and adorable in Series 1, whereas he became a bit more independent later on and a lot more sassy and human-like and such. I think I said human-like twice there, but I'm sorry. I thought the cat was much more adorable and cat-like in earlier series, though. But yeah, I remember like the cat evolved from Lister's pet like 3 million years ago called Frankenstein, before he went into stasis and came out 3 million years later after the whole radiation leak fiasco. And I don't know why they let him out that many years later. I can't quite remember, but I remember it's Frankenstein. There we go. 98% people got it, yeah. As if Rimmer's being 100% proof as if Rimmer was being 100% proof wasn't enough. He once went totally insane and stalked the Red Q. Mr. Flibble, yeah, that was the episode where he got infected with that virus that Landstrom got, and got that whole red eye thing, and it made her go insane as well. I remember it's like, poor woman, destroyed by her own genius. I remember it's Crichton who said that, but like, twinkle twinkle little eye, now it's time for you to die. But yeah, it's definitely Mr. Flibble. Mr. Flibble is very cross. I remember that episode was hilarious when you just see him in that little wee red and white checked dress. Oh, it was a very funny episode. I think that episode was called Quarantine. I just remember like when you just see it just shows if you're stuck in a room with someone for too long, you're bound to go crazy. I mean, you just saw like things were starting to get tense among Crichton, Lister and the cat within the one date that we're there. I'm just about to start recording again in a second. Right, I'm back. Sorry, damn watermarks and everything. But yeah, let's just continue that now. Yeah, the last one was about that whole virus and the quarantine episode. That was actually one of the best episodes. Like, there's a lot of classic episodes in my opinion that really stick with me most, and I remember the quarantine was a pretty damn good episode. In Red Dwarf, Rimmer once fell under the mistaken but traumatic impression that his mother and Lister played unthinkable sex games with witch food stuff. Alphabeti Spaghetti. I remember that episode. That was episode. That was the Polymorph in Series 3 as well. You've heard of honour among thieves. On Red Dwarf, it was more a case of friendship among smegheads. As a special treat for Crichton, Holly once knocked up a sort of android cocktail consisting of Vimto and what? Liquid nitrogen. I think that was it. Yes! Oh god, not many people got that one. I just happened to remember the way Crichton said liquid nitrogen there, and it was like, liquid nitrogen. No, I can't say it well. Oh dear, I hope I get this right. The Scutters. Red Dwarf's maintenance robots. Oh yeah, I remember those things. Led, luckless, trundling, monotonous lives. In other words, they were a lot like humans, and even worshipped as human star who... Oh dear. Oh no, I don't know this one. John Wayne? Oh god, that was just an amazing guess. I actually didn't know that one. That was a guess, that one. I just couldn't remember. In Red Dwarf, Lister's kitchen prowess is pretty much limited to knocking up incredibly hot curries. Despite this, he once went all Heston and trained to pass the chef's exam. It was to suggest Kachansky, I think he said, because he wanted to... That's pretty much his whole goal, was to win her over, go with her to Fiji and live her life there, looking after animals and such, and just sort of live a quiet life. But I remember now that she's stuck on deep space, it never really happened, but he just thought that if you could get rid of Rimmer and bring Kachansky back as a hologram, that would be like the next best thing. But I remember like, Rimmer sort of disguised himself with her hologram and was all like, I just don't fancy you and all that, and you might as well just go back to being the way you were before and all that. I can't remember who it is who originally played Kachansky, but I remember I've seen her in other stuff as well. But yeah, I definitely remember it was to suggest Kachansky, and it wasn't to outrank, or was it to outrank Rimmer? It was to suggest, yeah, I thought not, because I was just saying that there. He wanted to outrank Rimmer so that he could actually, like, get the authority to shut him down. No. Oh damn it, sorry. So it was kind of to suggest Kachansky, because I remember like, he was trying. Oh wait, yeah, it was to pass the chef's exam so he could outrank Rimmer. Oh, of course it was. Sorry. Oh well, sorry, I didn't mean to get that one wrong, but. Oh, it was an easy mistake to make. In Red Dwarf, Lister once found himself pregnant after sleeping with a female version of himself. Yeah, that was parallel universe in Series 2. And, but what led the group to the... Oh, that was the Hollyhock Drive. Yeah, I remember that one. That was the last episode of Series 2. What sort of creature fooled the Red Dwarf crew into thinking their whole time on the ship was a video game? The Despair Squid. Yeah, I remember that one. Yay! That was Back to Reality. That was the last episode of Series 5. In Red Dwarf... Red Dwarf. Oh, Dwayne Dibley. I remember I was like, I could open bottles with my overbite or something. I said, thermos, sandwiches, corn plasters, telephone money, dandruff brush, animal footprint shot, and one triple thick condom. I think I remembered everything that was on his shopping list in the episode Polymorph 2. It was called the Emo Hawk. But that's the one that he became Dwayne Dibley a second time. That's when pretty much like the vanity mad cat just turned into a complete dork. And first it was in the Despair Squid episode where they thought that their realities wasn't real, it was just a video game. And also you see Rimmer without all of his snidiness and everything, and you see him as Ace Rimmer for the second time in the episode. What a guy. Okay, so Dwayne Dibley, definitely Dwayne Dibley, yeah. I just don't know how anyone could forget that. So, ultimate, oh sorry, I'll just read that again. There's a Doc Brown lied. You don't need a flux capacitator to travel through time. The Red Dwarf crew managed it. Only to discover future Lister had become a what? Brain in a jar. Yeah, I remember that. That's when they get killed by their future selves in the end of Series 6. But it turns out they didn't actually end up killing themselves because Rimmer destroyed the time drive. So yeah, it turns out they ended up unkilling their present selves as well. But yeah, it's definitely the brain in the jar. I remember that one. I remember like their future selves become like snobs, and I remember like I sure as hell don't know how I became you, but I remember like Kat wasn't happy with how big his butt got and everything, and Yeah, I just remember they became very snobby and became very friendly with the Hitlers or something like that. The smoked kipper industry must have gone into mourning after Ace Rimmer, what a guy, was fatally wounded while rescuing which unfeasibly named Royal and Red Dwarf. Oh dear. Prince Bunjil, no. Queen Nurefen, Prince Vix. King, oh no. Prince Bun, yeah, I was just a guess. Princess Bongella. Oh god. Yeah, I remember Ace Rimmer was a funny character, like all the episodes he was in. I remember his last episode as Arnold Rimmer, before he left in Series 7, he took the place as next Ace Rimmer, but ended up coming back in Series 8 anyway. It was kind of unexplained what happened between Series 8 and Back to Earth, but I guess we're never really going to get an explanation. But everyone's talking about how that was never explained, and I noticed that as well. Like, oh wait, so did the other Rimmer just decide not to be Ace anymore? That wasn't for him, so he just came back to the original crew in Series 9, I guess you could say. Well, it's not so much Series 9, it's just Back to Earth. But in Red Dwarf, who became an intergalactic version of Rupert Murdoch, only without the latter's impeccable integrity, sense of fair play, by creating a TV channel show. That was Criteria TV, I think, wasn't it? Yes, that was in Series 8. So it is consisting of all 8 seasons, yes. Lister didn't want for much in Red Dwarf. So Manu Badgie, yeah, he's quite curry mad, that guy. Yeah, Fiji. Yeah, I remember mentioning that already earlier on. It was the island of Fiji that he wanted to see on Wickachansky. Red Dwarf's cat, as well as having the dress sense of a pre-Eccleston doctor crossed with Peter Stringfellow. Peter Stringfellow? I wouldn't say he was quite like that, but whatever. A tremendous singing voice, which of these a tongue-tad, whenever you are near me. I love that song. So there's no way I could have got that one wrong. While he's not led an existence more servile and humiliating than that of post-recession graduate intern, Red Dwarf's Crichton did enjoy the TV show Androids, a thinly veiled satire on I remember he's not your android or something like that. Android. Neighbours! Like, everybody needs good neighbours. I know, it's just everybody needs good androids. Yeah, that was Neighbours. God, I almost thought I was going to get it wrong there. And one of the less likely Red Dwarf plot gimmicks, yes, even including Lister having babies, the curried one caused an obscure historical figure from 1546 to appear on the ship. Oh! Chief T-Bo, the mayor of Warsaw. He had a bell, I remember that thing. It was either the mayor or no, it wasn't the Chief T-Boy, it would have been the mayor, wouldn't it? Yay! Got it. I think he just randomly explodes as well, doesn't he? I know, I just remember, like, it explains briefly at the start of Series 3 what happened to Lister's kids. Like, I remember, like, they became 18 years old within 3 days, so they just sent them back to their actual dimension because they had no choice. Lister is many things in Red Dwarf. Layabout, Sloba, and God, at least to the cat's civilization, who at least had just enough sense to give Lister deity a very silly name. What was it? Cloistered Stupid, yes, I remember that. That was what their Bible named him, I remember that. In Red Dwarf, Lister briefly tasted life as a non-loser by going back to his teenage self and inspiring himself. Oh, the tension sheet, that was in Time Slides, I remember that one. And that's when his younger self had a... I remember, like, he told him, like, cause his younger self is in a band, and I remember he's like, how can I say this without causing offense? You don't make it because you're crap. I just love the way he says it, because of his own song. Right, oh god, that's the 10-minute watermark up already again. I think I'll have enough time now to one more question before resetting the timer again. In a moment of made-up pseudo-science, worthy of drunken Einstein, Crichton once revealed in Red Dwarf that time is poured into the universe through what? White holes. Every action is caused by an equal and opposite reaction. I remember that episode. Oh god, I was laughing on for a while. I made a YTP of that episode a while back on my YTP channel, but yeah, that one got deleted a while ago. Thanks to the total immersion of video games better than life, the cat was able to see and create a new girlfriend for himself, and opted a mermaid, and who else? Marilyn Monroe, I remember that. How about a bit of Ooby Dooby Don't? So obnoxious something, I can't remember what it was, but I remember he envisioned Marilyn Monroe, but I remember he got a bit sick of her later on. Okay, there we go. That's 10 minutes up. Hang on. Okay, we're back again. Floating around in deep space doesn't just seriously hamper your chances of getting decent mobile phone reception. It also plays havoc with your sex drive. Well, I'd probably do fine in space then. Which is perhaps why Lister and the cat developed an unfortunate crush in Red Dwarf's... Oh, what was that? Wilma Flintstone. I remember they have a discussion about that at the start of episode 3. And I don't know how I could have forgotten that, because I watched the hell out of the episode when I was younger. I pretty much remember the episode word for word. Like, why are we talking about going to bed with Wilma Flintstone? Thanks to the gene-bothering powers of the DNA modifier, in Red Dwarf, crew managed to turn a mutton vindaloo into a chicken vindaloo. What's larger than the delicious monster. What was the only thing that could harm it? Lager. The only thing that could kill a vindaloo or something like that. But all the bazookas, I remember they weren't in Series 10, but they're bringing them back in Series 11 books things. I can't wait till Series 11 gets here. The episode lists even here now, and they're all looking very good actually. I mean, 30 years along the line and they're still doing the show. They look pretty good for their ages, I gotta admit. I know people are saying they've aged, but it's been like 30 years for goodness sake. And oh, the cat barely aged at all, to be honest. I can't wait for Series 11 to get here. The appearance of which hollow ship in Red Dwarf caused Rimmer to go all Humphrey Bogart and sacrifice his chance at happiness. Out of love, fellow hologram. Oh. Fellow hologram. Enlightenment. Discovery, oblivion. I think it's enlightenment, isn't it? I didn't mean to choose that. Oh, what? Oh, sorry, I accidentally clicked rapture. I meant to choose enlightenment. And the correct character was enlightenment. See, yeah, you'll have known I was right about that, because I meant to choose enlightenment, but I accidentally clicked the wrong one. Sorry. Ultimate Red Dwarf quiz. Think the Master, and chances are a cackling Doctor Who villain comes to mind. But forget him. He's dead to us now. We're talking about the Master from Red Dwarf. Who was that? Deranged, delusional, alien trap. The Master. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. That was in Series 5, wasn't it? Yeah. Rimmer's self-loathing. Everyone loves Starbug, but spare a thought for the original shuttlecraft. Oh, it's crashing all the time, I think. Sublined by Red Dwarf writer so ruthlessly. We almost cry if you were insane. What's it? The Blue Midget, of course I remember that. Yeah, I remember they used them more often in Series 8, the Blue Midget. She took a Blue Midget and liked it. I remember one of those kids referred to it in Back to Earth as well, when they're talking about how Kachansky dumped Lister. Red Dwarf had its share of celebrity cameos. Not very good ones, mind. You could sell these ones in Poundland. Basically, who played the Gelf Chief? Ainsley Harriott. Yeah, I remember that. 'Cause I remember seeing that in the Can't Smeg, Won't Smeg episode. Pretty much Can't Cook, Won't Cook. But yeah, Ainsley Harriott, that chef who always interferes in Ready Steady Cook. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they actually asked me a question like that. I just so happened to know by chance. The Red Dwarf crew were reunited with Kachansky in a strange parallel universe where Kachansky herself sounded considerably less Scottish. Yeah, I know that as well, because she's replaced with Chloe Annette by Series 7. What was the other difference? Lister was a hologram, yes. Rimmer was gay. No, I know what they're getting at there, though. She was trying to take Lister's mind off of being claustrophobic in the air ducts by saying that her dimension of Lister was gay, so they turned that into saying that Rimmer was gay there, but Cat was a dog in a parallel universe in another episode, but that's not the episode it's referring to. So yeah, it was Lister was a hologram. Postmodernism used to be a pretty aware and sophisticated thing. Now it's as common as Kerry Katona. Oh god. Even Red Dwarf went all postmodern with Back to Earth. When the dwarfers met up with Craig Charles, yes, I remember that. They meet him in the Rover's Return in Coronation Street. A lot of people seemed to not like that story, and they thought it was cheesy or bad. Like, I actually quite like that story, and I thought it was pretty funny and nice touch how both of Craig Charles' careers just sort of came together in one show. Red Dwarf Back to Earth was notable for many reasons. The ingenious plot, the twist ending, the wrinkle lines on our beloved characters' faces. I noticed the difference in their age between Back to Earth and Series 8. But come to think of it, I actually think they look younger now in Back to Earth ever since seeing them in Series 10 and the upcoming Series 11. Because they're looking older than that now, that they're starting to look more younger back then. But what is the appearance of a new hologram called what? Katarina Patakovsky, I remember her. Yeah. How didn't so little people get that? Probably because people watch Back to Earth. Red Dwarf Back to Earth was yeah, okay, sorry. I thought it was on my next question there for a second. There's 6 seconds, okay. One member of the Red Dwarf crew managed to scheme, blackmail, and cheat his way up the ranks. No, not Rimmer. We're actually talking about Captain Hoster, who was revealed to actually be who? Dennis the Donut Boy, Crispin the Crumpet Boy, Sammy the Sarny Boy, Timothy the... Oh god, I actually don't remember this. Oh yeah, I did. Dennis the Donut Boy. Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't know that one. Oh, there's meant to be the odd question I didn't know. I can't remember that one. It must have been a Series 8 mention or something. I remember. I thought I was going to ask a question about when he dressed as a chicken there. Red Dwarfs, Lister, and Tony Blair have a lot in common. Both contain livers. Both were also in rock bands. What was Lister's called? Smeg and the Heads. I remember. Yeah. That song. Oh yeah, I thought we were going to mention the fact that they both really like curries, because yeah, that's what he's very well known for, is his love for curry. I remember in Series 7 they go to so much trouble for getting more curry supply on the ship, so they even go back in time to change the JFK shootings just to get some curry. Here's a really anal question for joylessly pedantic Red Dwarf fans. We love you guys, seriously. We'd be out of job without you. Yeah, it's a very good show. So it's no props. Just how long was Lister kept in status? 3 million years. I even mentioned that earlier. You'd think seeing into the future would be fun or interesting or enlightening. In fact, it's mega annoying. As well as the Red Dwarf crew discovered when they kept glimpsing future echoes, what caused them. I think it was light speed, wasn't it? Red Dwarf exceeding the speed of light. Yes. Yay! I'm glad I'm actually getting these. Like, I know I've missed a few, but I've actually... Well, there's only one I got wrong because I accidentally clicked the wrong one. Gazpacho Soup Day, I remember that was his last words. Rimmer delivered some fine and healthy last words in real... Yeah, I know that is Gazpacho Soup. Yeah. I remember he gave the whole spiel at the end of the episode to spill his guts, and then it turns out he already erased the other Rimmer just because he wanted to hear him tell his story as to what Gazpacho Soup meant. And I remember when Lester said he won't say any more of it, and all of a sudden he was like, oh, when it comes down to it, you're a really decent bloke and all that, and all of a sudden he was like, do you want to go catch a drink? I can't remember what I said, but I just remember the episode ends with Lester making a what's it called, a snide remark saying super or something like that there. Being marooned to get, oh yeah, I know this one. In a past life I was Alexander the Great's chief eunuch. Yeah, that's you'll just end up seeing each other in a better light. Oh yeah, I remember that's the episode you just see Rimmer and Lister marooned together, but pretty much like old times really, in the older 2 series. But yeah, I remember that's when he gives that whole story about that. Red Dwarf's Crichton may have had his flaws, but we'll say this for him: at least he didn't try to massacre the crew in a moment of supreme, and terrifying derangement. Like a successor. Oh, what was the replacement android cum mechanic's name? Oh no, I remember. He's that one that could break bricks with his groinal attachment or something like that. I remember he's like, dying time. I know what robot he is, I just can't remember his name. Hudson, Johnson, Pipson, Blitzen, Hudson? Yeah, oh, that was his lucky guess. Honestly, I actually could not remember his name. There's 2 more questions. Never mind Stephen Fry. Judy Dench, or that meerkat who says that funny word in that funny way. What simples is that? Our true national treasure is clearly Red Dwarf's Ace Rimmer. Yeah, everyone seems to want him to come back. He was pretty funny. I think that him and Dwayne Dibley were actually rather iconic characters in the show. This great hero owned his existence to what event in his childhood? Being kept back a year at school. Yeah, I remember that was the one change that Rimmer made in his life that made them go separate ways in 2 different dimensions. So yeah, it was being kept back a year at school. Yeah, I remember that. That was when he first appeared in Series 4. During the Red Dwarf's crew's ill-fated excursion to a world populated by waxworks androids. Oh yeah, I remember this was the last episode of Series 4, Meltdown, and I do know this one. Think Madame, sorry, I was going to say Mohammed there. Madame Tussauds, oh, I know, it's Winnie the Pooh. I remember, like, he had to witness him being burned at the stake, or shot at the stake, or something like that. I remember, like, it's Winnie the Pooh. Said, if it's Gallows, tell me it's Gallows. I can take it. Okay, it's Gallows. Ah, the Gallows! And I remember Laurel from Laurel and Hardy was an episode. I love Laurel and Hardy. But I remember he cried a bit more often than Laurel did in Laurel and Hardy in that episode. But oh, there's the 10-minute warm-up cup again. BRB. Right, well, it just decided to time up in perfect timing because we're on the last question right now. After a long, triumphantly chucklesome run, Red Dwarf came to an end in 1999 until we resurrected the show with Back to Earth and Red Dwarf X. Oh, yeah, 'cause I remember when they said we resurrected the show because it was handed over to Dave by that series, but it was on the BBC before that. The very last scene belonged to Rimmer, but who did we see him kick in the unmentionable? Death! I remember that in Series 8, and that's where that major cliffhanger was never answered. Which everyone is always raving about because of that. Like, we want to know what happened after that scene in Series 8 where pretty much the whole crew got wiped out again and he just kicked Death in the balls. I remember that. Like, not today, matey. Like, remember, only the good die young. I remember that one. And I remember, like, Chris Barry, he does a very good impression of, well, lots of people really, because he was actually in Spitting Image before he was in Red Dwarf. He was actually, that's what his career was. He was an impressionist, sorry, before he became an actor in Red Dwarf in that. But I mostly remember him for doing the voice of Kenneth Williams in the smeg up. So he's like, matron, yes. But yeah, kicked Death in the bollocks. Result. This is how you compare to everyone else. 83% of the players. Oh, okay, so that was overall results. Oh, I'm going to share it on Facebook how well I did after I've shown this here. You scored 47. I technically scored 48 out of 50 because one of the questions I accidentally slipped my finger and I got it wrong, but I did know it because you could even tell I answered it and it showed what the answer was going to be, but I actually clicked the wrong thing. But you could see clearly that I knew what the answer was. But 63% compared to how you compare to everyone else. 63% of players scored higher. Oh, figures. Quite a bunch of hardcore like fans in that know all these little details that I didn't. Technically, I only didn't know 2 questions, so I did pretty good in my opinion. 47 out of 50. That's pretty cool considering I do love Red Dwarf, but I'm probably not that much of a fan of it. But I do really like the show, like its theme tune and intro and outro. Pretty iconic to me as well. Very nostalgic to listen to. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I'm really looking forward to Series 11. And let me know if you guys are too. It's a very good show, and I'm glad to see that it's still on the go. Take care, guys, and I'll see you later.